All right, guys, come on in.
A lot of people have been emailing me about the question after they've had a ischemic stroke or a carotid artery dissection from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They ask, what is training like? What's training going to be like after? The thing is, people usually don't really find me until after they've had a stroke. It's coming from jiu-jitsu. What we're finding is carotid artery dissections, which lead to trauma of the arteries over a period of time, can create little tears inside the arteries. And good news is those arteries can repair themselves. Bad news is if you don't recognize the signs of a potential dissection, it could potentially cause a stroke, and that's your worst case scenario. That's what happened to me in 2017. So now I'm still an advocate for the sport. I'm still an advocate for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think everybody should train, but there is some safety precautions that we have to take. It really comes down to awareness and understanding the signs and the symptoms. And so you can read my blog articles on Medium, on YouTube. You can watch videos of other survivors talk about, what happened to them, how it happened. Like myself, I missed some signs I should have been aware of. But I'm not here to say that we should stop training jiu-jitsu. I'm definitely not saying that we should stop practicing sportive chokes and strangles. That's why I'm actually bringing you along tonight. I think it's strangles and in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they go hand in hand with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What that means to me is, if it's truly the most effective self-defense, which I believe it is, and most people watching it will as well, we all know that that rear naked choke, that strangle, that can put somebody, attacker, to sleep. Could be the difference between life and death, and it does need to be practiced. However, we do need to practice it responsibly. I believe that over trauma, practicing the moves too hard on each other for a long period of time, getting trapped in submissions and really, really fighting out of them, that all can cause trauma to the arteries. And it's something to be aware of. And you really need to know what the signs are of carotid artery dissection, and I'll put that in the link, of course, my blog link in this video. But I still believe that we still need to practice sportive chokes. However, we just need to be aware of, so people ask me, okay, well, what's your life like after your stroke, Chris? Do you still train jiu-jitsu? Well, yeah, I do. It's a part of my life, something that I don't want it to go away. But I do have a stent in my carotid artery, and from the dissection. And so the reason they put the stent in is because after they sent me a TPA shot to bust open the clot that was in the carotid artery from the dissection that I had prior to, that I didn't know of, the stroke, after they busted up the clot, it was still sitting there, so they decided to stent it. So there's only a couple of us that have had dissections that still have a stent in their neck. So you would think that practicing sportive chokes is something that I would have, some danger. Well, I'm definitely aware of it, so I wanted you to follow along tonight to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy that I train at when I'm here in Illinois. Last night we were doing chokes, as well as we were practicing escapes. So I take your back, you take my back, back and forth. Either I escape or you submit. If I tap, then we just reset. If you escape, then we reset. So I believe John Danaher does a lot of that. I think they call it specific or situational, where it's just, I got your back, I have to finish you, or retain the back position, or you have to escape. I believe that is still a very important drill, especially for stroke survivors. We have to get really good at protecting our neck. I still practice that, and I'm just very conscious of making sure that if somebody gets the lapel grip, I'm either getting ready to tap because I'm pretty much close to going too far from my personal comfort zone with a stint in my neck, or I'm being preventative and really holding on to the grips and really holding on to make sure that they cannot get my lapel. That's all I'm worried about for my escapes. So Asher, my coach, asked me last night, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do those back drills? I said, yeah. The difference between back drills and going back and forth situational and just being a dummy in the class is that when you're a dummy, they're just ripping the choke back and forth on each other. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. However, and as a dummy, you're not using any type of resistance. So with live situational, I am resisting. So this is a really good opportunity for me to practice my choke defense, my choke escapes, and I wanted you guys to follow along and see what it's like. Okay, so I'm probably not going to have people practice the chokes on me, but I am going to work the situational. I want you guys to see it, as well as I told Asher last night. He said, are you okay with doing this? I said, listen, when I can do the situational, I can resist. So I'm comfortable with my escaping. As you'll see tonight, if we do the chokes, I'm holding the hands to make sure that they can't close my lapel. My hands are focused on the overhand grips. And I'm really not taking my hand off of that choke hand until I feel like I've escaped the choke. So there is light after stroke. We can still practice sportive chokes, and I just wanted to bring you along for the ride and see what it's like, a day in the life. And I am gonna recommend that you definitely get one of these Whoop straps. One of the things I always do. This recovers everything. This tells me exactly what my day, how much sleep I need, what my HRV is. It's the only wearable fitness device that you can wear. Track it at night, track it in your sleep, and then pop it on to my sleeve where it sits. So this is the only fitness device that I can track all day, all night sleep, and it tracks my jiu-jitsu performance as well. And on my phone is the app. It's called the Whoop strap. You see a lot of UFC athletes practicing this. Also it tells me exactly, where I'm at with my day. My green is my recovery, my blue is my strain. So I'm getting ready. I'm at a 12.8 right now. Ideally, I want to get up to about 15, 16, 18, maybe even 20 on my strain, because if you look at my recovery, I'm fully rested. That's important data for somebody like me, because I see a lot of people. There's been some studies that show that when the immune system is weak, and when you're sick or tired or overtrained, the probability of a dissection is a little bit higher. So right now, I look like I'm pretty good to go. I'm recovered at 97%, which is awesome for me. It's not typical. I had a good training last night here as well. We did this back, and so we'll see how it goes and come along for the ride. So here we go. Let's go. We got a life full of the jiu-jitsu trunk. We got that 93 brand carotid artery restriction. That's what we're here to talk about today. I need to get my mouth guard. I would never advise anybody to roll at the academy without a mouth guard, because these guys don't roll easy. All right, we got our belt, we got our gi. Let's go. Follow me. My friend Dave, he owns this place, and we have my friend the doctor over here. He is the physiotherapist that sits outside of the Academy of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I always say, if you want to be the smartest business guy in the world, then and you're in the physiotherapy business, set up an office outside of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy. That's him right there. Take a look. Guys, come on in.
So keep training hard, even if you're not competing. Keep training hard, guys. Let's get better. Okay, let's get better. Get in shape. Summer's only going to be here. It's going to be it's going to be short work, I promise you. Okay. This September, it's going to be a month from that. It goes by quick. Okay, so. Train hard, train as much as you can. And if you have the time right now, go into this session because you don't feel like it. You're only cheating yourself. Remember that, okay? That being said, it's how it is.
So here I am, 4 years later, I'm still training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu after my ischemic stroke. I didn't recognize the signs back in 2017. I did have a carotid artery dissection, and if I would have recognized the signs and gotten the treatment that I needed, then my ischemic stroke could have been avoided. However, that's not what happened. Luckily for me, I got the care and the help that I needed, but unfortunately for others, that's not the case. I'm here to tell everybody today that we can still train and we can still do jiu-jitsu just like we did in the past. However, we just need to be aware of what can happen to ourselves or even our training partners. As long as we have awareness, then we can continue to do what we love and we can do it in a safe manner. In no way, shape, or form am I here to steer people away from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's changed my life and the lives of many people around me. However, I am here to try to grow and promote the sport, but we have to do it in a way that is safe for everybody. Part of that safety is just general awareness. I'm asking for the coaches, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, their teammates, and the medical community to be aware that carotid artery and vertebral artery dissections can happen in young, healthy, athletic individuals who practice the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As long as we have awareness on all fronts, then people can get the treatment that they need to mitigate risk and continue to train safely with their friends and family. Hey everyone, thanks for following along so far on this journey. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chris Martin Biz Jitsu, my Medium blog, Biz Jitsu, and also can follow me on Instagram, #BizJitsu,